Domo Arigato.
Mr.
Mr.
Roboto.
Roboto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not even in the cup. He's next to the cup.
Oh
Not going to bump over the camera.
no!
Probably
You
for the
can
best not
though
to.
if you want.
Probably best that you don't.
Are we on the air? Are we live?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
We are live.
We're live now.
Hello.
Hooray!
That's my second best claw machine win ever.
I don't remember what I got, but my mom told me that I would never win, and then I put my 50 cents in and won, and that's the best one I ever got.
I think she meant in life.
Was that you and I that we were at some hotel that we cleared out the claw machine?
Maybe.
There was a claw machine at a hotel in Madison.
Was the toggle on like every grip?
I think it was
Oh.
because we spent a pretty penny, but we cleared out the machine. We were told to leave.
Yeah. What do they think the machine's for?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the toggle needs to be set to a low enough number.
That it falls off.
You know,
most of
because
the time.
yeah. Well, it falls off every time except for they set a
Oh,
count. So like
count.
if they put it at 8, it's limp 7 times, and on the 8th time
then
it
it just-
cranks down like a
Oh,
motherfucker.
okay.
And so there's no randomness.
Okay.
It's just like every 8th one if that's
I
what
didn't
they have
realize
the
that.
toggle. on.
Well, you can get around that too because sometimes they like pack it in there, and it doesn't matter if it clamps down on it.
If it's like
not-
leaning over the chute, you can sometimes just punch it through by dropping the claw like on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in
no,
general,
I meant like if it's too tight to even pull anything
Yeah,
out.
there's-
oh yeah, like even when it clanks, you might fail to.
Yeah, it's
I
They're
found the
supposed to pack it into there with all the stuffed animals, so it's like a really thick pile.
Yeah.
And trying to grip it out of it, you
Yes.
can't pull it out because it's just compact.
You are guaranteed to fail X minus 1, or whatever. So if it's set at 8, you will fail those first 7 for sure.
I'm not talking about
And
the claw. The claw
I know.
just can't actually pull it
That's
out.
my point. That's what I'm getting to.
Oh,
If it's set at 8, you're guaranteed to fail those 7, and then the 8th, which is your one chance to actually get it, is where what you're talking about comes in, where you still might fail because it's packed in.
Yeah.
You know what fails? We know what never fails?
Not playing the claw machine.
A hammer.
Yeah, that's true. Or a trained small child.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the show where the child gets?
Oh, I think it's one of the early How I Met Your Mother episodes.
That one show.
Isn't she
Oh,
like
yeah.
reporting
Yeah,
from
it
a
is.
No,
Yeah.
Well, I've seen.
yeah, Robin? Well, maybe another thing
Robin's
too.
reporting about a child stuck in it, and then Ted like runs down to the store so that he can be like, "Oh, hey, Robin."
That scenario has been in like 50 shows.
No problem.
That was the only time that's ever happened.
Yep.
How I
Every
Met Your
time.
Mother invented it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Hello.
watch that show, so I don't remember that sequence.
That's
but
fair.
I remember that sequence from other things.
That's fair. I'm sure it's in lots of things.
I don't watch that show because I've heard it's terrible.
It's great up until
It's
the
great
Yeah,
right up to the
you just
end.
gotta
Which
stop
means
a
it's
season
terrible.
early. Well, no, that's like saying Scrubs is terrible because it had like a weird sequel that.
Well,
That they
and
thought
that's
was
different
the same
because
season.
that was a sequel, but the network made them change the title of it to Scrubs, and so that is legitimately a differentiated thing. So I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Oh,
I
okay.
still enjoyed parts of it because I liked a couple of the actors in there, but it's still weird. I mean, but you're all right.
If the title had not
Yeah,
been
yeah.
Scrubs, people probably would have liked it. It was okay,
and it wasn't.
if it wasn't Scrubs.
It wasn't as good as Scrubs, but it didn't insult what it was. Like How I Met
Yeah.
Your Mother insulted the show. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
like,
it
why-
did.
certain things just when they insult what they're based on, you're like, well, now it all.
And the thing is, the last season of How I Met Your Mother is weak, but not insulting. It's the final episode that is like, anything you liked or cared about the show, we're going to shit on it.
Well, any growth that these characters experienced didn't happen. It was all just like
Yeah.
pretend.
And that makes it great because then the whole show was just like a snuff film.
Yeah,
they were
basically.
building up all this emotional connection just to hurt you.
It was basically like watching Seinfeld.
Yeah. Even the mom dying wasn't a big deal, but just
No,
such
it
an
wasn't.
excuse
The
to get
other
back to
stuff.
Robin was so dumb.
The other stuff was
Yeah.
dumb.
Like, that was fun. I mean, because they even hinted at during the season that
Yeah.
she was going to die. You're like, holy crap, that's going to be sad.
Yeah.
But then they made it insulting.
Yep.
Yep.
They did. It was unfortunate.
How did they make it insulting? I guess I don't.
Because at the very first episode,
Just watch all 8 seasons real quick.
Yeah.
Just go watch all of How I Met Your Mother, and then when we hear you crying, we'll know you understand.
Well-
So he meets the mother, and then he just says, "By the way, she died, and then I fucked this other chick from the show."
yeah, that I've.
And he's telling the whole story to his kids, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his kids are like, "Go fuck that other lady."
Yeah,
Yay!"
yeah, that's literally what kids say.
I don't believe they said fuck.
No,
Pretty much.
but pretty much.
was
No, but the
kind of
viewers
same-
did.
Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning.
Fuck!
It's also worth mentioning that the woman that his kids told him to go have sex with, that he's going to go have sex with, was married to his best friend, but they also got divorced in the last 30 minutes of the final episode.
Right.
They got married and divorced.
They got married in the first 30 minutes.
Well, the whole of the episode.
of the episode,
Yeah.
and then they got divorced in the last 30 minutes
So
of the
was there
episode.
supposed to be 9 seasons of this, and then they decided to cram?
I know they
all
thought they were
9
being. They were
seasons?
just.
I don't know.
They thought they were subverting expectations in a clever way, and instead they were just insulting everyone ever.
Right. Well, I think what happened is they had this was going to be the ending from when they started the show, and then they like built these characters so that this wasn't the natural ending anymore. But they're like, nope, this is the ending that we picked like 9 years ago.
Because when the show started, because obviously the kids grew up, so they filmed the ending with the 2 young kids. So the ending was filmed during season 1,
Yeah.
of season 8. So they always knew what the ending was going to be. It was always wrapped and done and complete.
Yeah.
If it
Which
wouldn't
is
have sucked,
if it wouldn't have sucked, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But
Being intentional and unexpected does not make it good, as certain people feel about the middle of No Country for Old Men.
No,
The ending of How I Met Your Mother is the middle of No Country for Old Men.
at 75%.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Don't.
So
You're okay.
It is an amazing movie if you fall asleep through half of it.
You watch it, you're like, man, I wonder if I'll catch him, and you fall asleep, and you never know what happens, and you're better off.
yeah, you are way better off.
All right, sounds good.
So
When they say it's all about the chase, that's never been a truer statement.
They are right.
yeah. That's a great main character, though,
Yeah.
until he wasn't in the movie anymore.
Welcome to Crippled System, episode 204.
Where we talk about whatever we feel like.
My name is Andy.
My name is Brian.
My name is Nathan.
My name is Katie.
And I'm Jeremy.
I'm so tired. I spent so many hours today sorting my Shadows Brimstone stuff. So many hours.
I took a nap.
I took a nap too.
I went for a walk.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
We went Pokemoning.
We lost a Pokemon, right?
We did.
You saw Doctor Strange, right?
No.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, whatever. Imagine if 75% of the way through the movie, Doctor Strange was killed off screen, and then the librarian battled the main villain. No, actually, that's not even true.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is killed off screen, and then the main villain just wanders around for a while and then leaves, and then the movie ends with
the
a speech by the librarian.
The librarian tells you about his dreams.
Yeah.
That is how the movie, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange would have ended if it was No Kid for Old Men.
Yeah,
Doctor
that's
Strange
actually pretty
dies
true.
randomly. The villain
Yeah.
just wanders around, and the librarian's like, I had this weird dream.
And then credits roll.
And you're like, I'm going to murder a child now to calm down.
Well, the librarian does come in, like, they show Doctor Strange going someplace, and the villain's waiting. It's a trap by the villain, and he's going in there like, oh, what's going to happen? And then they cut to the next day, and the librarian comes up and goes, oh, look, it's Doctor Strange's corpse. Interesting. And then wanders off, and then talks about his dreams, and the movie ends.
Yeah.
That's No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Great movie.
But that first 75% is a pretty good movie.
I want to watch it again knowing that in this, well, whatever, no more metaphor. I want to watch it again knowing that despite everything the movie told me, Tommy Lee Jones is the main character.
Yeah.
And maybe I won't be furious at that moment.
But
he's barely in the movie.
But that doesn't mean it's not about him.
I did. It's been on TV, and I did watch like the first half quite a bit. Then I just like flip the channel
Yeah.
because I do enjoy
That's fine.
elements of the first half.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
not as good. You know what movie we saw yesterday that's better by far? Power Rangers.
Yes.
That was an excellent movie. I would highly recommend it.
I
Yeah.
thought you guys
Well,
saw
we're
that
not
in
to that part of the
theaters.
podcast yet.
I don't care.
She doesn't even
Uh-oh.
care, man.
We're there now.
No, we rented it because
Okay.
it's not in theaters anymore.
Yeah.
And it was surprisingly good.
I tried
Like
to-
better than the source material.
So,
good.
like, Speed Racer style.
Yes.
Not quite as good as Speed
Not quite as
Racer.
good as Speed Racer, 'cause
but
Speed
it was-
Racer-
But the best way that the best review I heard of it is it didn't shy away from the fact that it was from a kids show, but it didn't like over abuse like.
It's still teenagers doing stuff. I gotta
Yeah.
say, it was such a serious movie, but they still had it. And I swear to God, in the theater, I can only imagine the theater would have went crazy at this. And I'm almost sad I didn't see it just because of it. But the movie's going, and then they literally, the guys, it's morphin' time. Which, by the way, Katie
By
made
the
that
way,
joke.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Brian said, okay, literally how much of a buildup was there? Brian looks at us both. In a pause, there's a pause in the dialogue, and he says, hey guys, do you know what time it is?
Yeah.
And Katie doesn't get the joke at all because she never watched the show enough.
Morphin' time!
And then literally on the screen, it's morphin' time.
and it's time that And then
Perfectly.
And then, so the movie, and everything with the movie is pretty serious. It's got like real music, and normal music, not like kids' music. But then as soon as they fly out in their Zords or whatever they're called,
When they say it's morphin time, do they each thrust their thing towards the camera while shouting?
No,
what
they
is
don't
a
do
morphin?
that.
They don't do
but
that.
they did do when they flew it in their are they called Zords?
Zords,
yeah.
Zords. They
Then
played.
they formed the Megazord.
Well, they flew it in Zords, and they played the literal song. They played the Morphin
guitar.
The
guitar
mighty-
riff
yeah.
and the thing, and I was like, holy crap.
It was amazing.
Any theater filled with fans would have lost their fucking shit at that because it was so goddamn perfectly
And
ridiculous.
hilariously, at no point in the movie do they or Zardon or Alpha exhibit any knowledge that the Megazord's a thing, nor does Rita, until all of a sudden they all fall in a pit to die, and then Megazord is born. And you're like, I mean, I knew Megazord was coming, but like, what?
Well, no, but that makes sense. That follows the theme of the whole movie because the whole thing was they've got to work together, and at the last moment they're like, "We die together,"
and then it turned into Megazord.
And Megazord was like, "They're together now. I get it."
Yeah.
And
It was
They unlocked their power of
Yeah.
together working this.
Yeah. It was amazing.
It wasn't a sequence where they just found a button that said
Nope.
form sword.
No. In fact, there's a sequence where so the Zords are all dinosaurs, first of all,
Well, except for the Mastodon.
except for the Mastodon, which is a dinosaur with 6 legs.
Neither of those things is true. Mastodons are dinosaurs that don't have 6 legs. What the fuck is that?
The Zord does.
Mastodon's the elephant, right?
Yeah. No, the Zord definitely has 6 legs.
They added
One of those is a trunk and one is a tail.
Nope.
No, they added like
Big
6
ears?
legs
They added
and
legs.
trunk and tail.
Because I looked it up online, and the director said that it made more sense from a CGI perspective to give it give it another.
So
set of
anyway,
legs.
there's a scene where the pterodactyl picks up the rhinoceros, because obviously this is what happens.
Rhinoceros.
Yes, one of the Zords is a rhinoceros.
Not a Triceratops?
I guess it's a
was
Triceratops.
It is a
Sorry,
Triceratops.
Triceratops. I apologize. So anyways,
I'm letting that one
Could
go.
anyone else tell
no.
this story?
So he picks up the Triceratops. They're flying in at the monster. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're flying in at the monster. He drops the Triceratops. Right before he drops the Triceratops, there's a screen on the Triceratops, and you're like, oh, this is clearly when they're going to form the Megazord. And he presses the button, and nothing appears to happen. A pulse comes out.
Yeah, he gives like an
But
electronic pulse.
But the pulse is when he hits the ground, so it could have just been him hitting the ground.
No, he pushed the button at the same time he hit the ground.
I'm
So he
just
made it an
saying,
EMP pulse.
the only button that seemed like maybe it was Megazord related was a pulse.
Gunman
And,
is correct, by the
what's
way.
his-
They did unlock the power of the Krispy
They did-
Kreme.
They did unlock the power.
Krispy Kreme was a critical part of the movie. Also, the villain was great. She did it.
She was
She did an
fantastic.
The actress did a
amazing
great job.
Well, she's the same gal from Pitch Perfect
And Hunger Games, yeah.
and Hunger Games and stuff, and she was fantastic. Yeah.
One thing I have heard is that like Rita appearing and the Zords appearing is completely unrelated and coincidental. Like neither of them causes the other.
Nope.
Like in the original series, she gets free and then Zordon's like, fuck, she's free, I better make Power Rangers.
Nope,
Or in this one, they could have found the Zords and while finding them accidentally freed her or something.
Nope.
But instead just good thing they happened to find Zords?
No,
Yeah.
they said that the Zords formed when they landed on Earth, and it looked more like when
billion years ago.
Yeah, and it looked more like when the Power Rangers found the
Crystals.
crystals. That's what actually woke Rita up.
It did appear that them getting the crystals, even though Zordon had no way to control when they got the crystals,
woke up after
because
they got
they
the crystals.
literally dynamited a mountain to get them
But
randomly,
it seemed to be the catalyst.
seemed to wake her up.
Quick question. It appears that the mammoth actually has 8 legs.
No, it's 6.
No, it's 8.
No, I
The,
googled it.
the director says 6, but I didn't look it up online.
There are definitely 8 legs on whatever that thing is.
Huh.
I don't
Is
know.
that's it, isn't it?
It has 6 forelegs and 2 hind legs.
Well, it said 6 when I googled it. When I
Maybe
googled,
there's
like,
4
why
on this side and 2 on the other.
Yeah.
That's
that could be-
probably it. That makes more sense.
That seems likely.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, that holds
it's just a
together
mastodon
anything.
that just runs in a circle.
Well, to be fair,
It's going right.
The 2
the
legs on
mastodon
the other
does
side are way
mostly just run in a
stronger.
circle.
See, those are 4 little legs. He just has 1 big leg on the other side that makes
That would
or
only
the
be
3
5
front
doesn't
ones.
even
look like
I'm
a
sorry,
mastodon either.
No,
No.
Well, that's why I googled it because I was like, I don't know what he's driving.
It was the only dinosaur you couldn't identify.
What it is the members of Mastodon are each piloting a leg.
Yeah.
So it's not a Mastodon, it's just Mastodon.
That was pretty good.
But anyway, it was very enjoyable. And ridiculous.
Yeah, that was it was like surprisingly entertaining.
My favorite review of it, and it's not an unfair review, was, man, that remake of The Breakfast Club is amazing. Like, it's not an unfair review. It starts out with kids in detention, and then they form together through friendship, and then there's the Power Rangers movie comes out of it.
How much Bulk and Skull is there?
I'm
out.
I don't think
I'm
there's
out.
any. But maybe
They don't at least play Bulk and Skull's theme song during the credits?
no.
Because that shit should
No,
have,
but the
like,
Pink Ranger and the Green Ranger, as normal people, watch the final fight. They're like in the crowd when the final fight ends, and you just see them like looking at the camera, like videotaping with their phones.
Green Ranger
monster
and-
fight.
The original.
The original Green Ranger and Pink
Oh,
Ranger.
all right. I do like Amy Jo Johnson. But
Yes.
I'm saying
She's
credits
the
are always
reason to watch
30
them.
seconds longer than the main theme, so those last 30 seconds they should have just played the Bulk and Skull theme as a little Easter egg at the end.
They might have.
They might have.
I was like, "Why are we watching the credits?" He's like, "There might be a little cutscene," and I said, "I don't think there is." And then he like scrolled through them really quickly.
Yeah, because we were watching on a computer, and I was like, oh, I don't see it. So it might have been there, to be fair.
And yeah, so movies. Today all of us saw Baby Driver,
I
well,
did not.
all of us.
I went to yoga.
and Nathan was working.
So by all of us, do you mean you?
and me, and Andy.
Yeah. Okay.
See, usually Andy's the left out one. So
I wasn't invited,
You were working.
To be
but I
fair,
still
you
wasn't
were.
invited. The fact that I would have turned the invite down doesn't change the fact
Would
that I
you
wasn't
like to come to
invited.
come to Baby Driver with us several hours ago when you were working?
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely would have liked to. 100% would have liked to.
That's fair.
That was a good movie.
Also,
That's my
people
review.
knew you were working, Nathan.
That's true. We did.
There were
such a drama
birds.
queen.
There were birds stuck in there, and I had to get rid of birds.
Ugh.
It's very difficult.
That sounds lame.
Yes.
Just release a cat into the store.
It would have to be a high jumper. Those birds are up in the
You
rafters.
need like an Arya cat.
Just shoot them. And those birds either really liked each other or really didn't like each other because they followed each other around the store, just chirping and shrieking at each other
That's
constantly.
I
annoying.
think that's a not liking.
Well,
It
maybe.
depends.
Or it could be a mating.
It could have been like, "Hey, sexy, don't call me sexy, chase me."
Well, that's a song file
What
that's going to
was
live
that?
forever.
Wow.
like you don't know.
Somebody needs to make a soundboard of that.
Yeah.
There are many soundboards of our show.
How do you get rid of the birds?
Yeah, what did you do?
One of them got stuck between the window and some like
And the wall?
shelving
Sorry.
What?
Never mind.
to the windows to the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a.
I'm waiting for you to finish the story. Go.
We have like those plastic stackable shelving drawer things that we have paper in at the copy center, and he got stuck between that and the window. So we just pulled a drawer out and reached in and grabbed him by his stupid bird head and threw him out the window or out the door.
And then the friend followed, or
No, I don't know where the other one went because without that one to yell at, it was far less active. Like before that, the two of them were running around, and then that one got stuck behind the window, and the other one we just don't know where it is. So it either got stuck behind something else, and we'll find it when it starts to smell.
Yep.
Or it got out when we weren't paying attention because we left the doors open. Because the gamble was either more got in or those two got out, and that's a
Right.
gamble I was willing to take.
that's a
By
big
then,
thing.
there's like 78 birds everywhere.
That would have been an improvement. Like more or fewer. Either we're an aviary or we got rid of birds. The 2 was the worst number to have.
One time, my cat brought in a bat that was still alive, and then she just dropped it as soon as she entered the foyer, and then there was a bat flying around. That was. I
Yeah.
hit it with a box.
I have to imagine there was a Yelp involved there.
That
A
might
Yelp?
A Yelp review?
You Yelped? Would you
Yelp! Like that.
Like she doesn't know what a Yelp is.
I thought you meant why the cat dropped it.
No, you.
Well, not really, because I knew she had it in her mouth.
I like how cats, when they bring in.
I seen you freak
stuff
out
like
when
that.
you thought you had a tick on her. You wouldn't get within 5 feet of her. I figured actual live bat like flying around.
Well,
with
yeah,
her.
there's a tick.
All right.
To be fair, she's terrified of ticks.
They're nasty.
But she, like, yeah, the bat bringing it because you suck at hunting.
I do. It's true.
You've
Well,
never
yeah.
killed a single bat.
She's never seen you kill anything, to the best of her knowledge.
I know. That's fine.
Our chat is officially better than the Power Rangers movie because it has Bulk and Skull in it.
It does have Vulcan Skull in it.
I don't know what Twitch marathon they're talking about.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe there was like a maybe Twitch Marathon, the old series before the release of the new movie. I
could
don't
see
know.
that.
That's a guess.
That is a guess. It's not a bad guess.
Twitch likes to marathon TV shows sometimes.
They do. That's true.
Like that Bob Ross channel.
So anyway,
Ross and MST3K.
Yeah, 38 episodes of MST3K. It is. There are some difficult to find episodes of that show now because of how fucking complicated the rights were. Like, there's a lot of the MST3K episodes that they're not allowed to ever air again.
oh,
Just because the rights to the films have lapsed back, and some like one of the I forget who it was, but one of the guys that they did like 8 or 9 movies by this producer.
Yeah.
he died and his wife has the rights now, and she personally just refuses to let them use those movies anymore because she thinks it's an insult to her husband's memory.
Name, yeah.
He was cool with it. Like, he gave the rights away, but whatever.
Yeah. What do you do? What have you? So anyway, fun movies this weekend.
And you guys liked Baby Driver?
Yeah.
Yes, Baby Driver was very enjoyable. It was, I don't know that it's quite what I expected. I'm not sure what I expected, but it was enjoyable. There was definitely driving, so it had that.
It was directed by What's-His-Face, and he's good at things.
Yes, that's true.
Very good, very charismatic characters all about.
Characters were all, even the bit characters were really solid.
Yep. And some of the things that you think, like, there are certain things that happened that you didn't, I was a little surprised by, which was nice. Like, it wasn't necessarily, like, cut and paste. Like,
There were several times they subverted what I expected to have happen. In a good way. Like, I wasn't, like, angry about it like No Country for Old Men. Like, it was an enjoyable subversion.
They didn't kill Baby Driver off.
Yeah, Baby Driver didn't die off screen 50% through the film.
Maybe it would be better if it was a literal baby driving.
I think that's
be careful what you...
the Little Boss Baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want that.
Okay.
It's a sequel.
I almost wish that sometimes in movies where they would have foreshadowing, if they wouldn't continue shoving that foreshadowing down our throats. There's like at least one major sequence in the film where they foreshadowed something, and they kept on going back to it.
So instead
going
of
back
being subtle and clever foreshadowing,
it.
it's just rammed
Yeah.
down your throat.
if you're talking about the speaker thing, is that only so that...
No,
Okay.
talking about the rebar.
Yeah, the rebar was
Okay.
pretty... Like, look at the truck, look away. Look at the truck, look away. Look at the truck, look away. Look at the truck.
Yeah, what's
They all come running out, kill him.
Well, it was...
I was trying to avoid.
Well, it was more because of the person behind it. It was more because of the person who was going back and forth.
Uh-oh.
Jeremy.
Your mother just called me.
She didn't call me.
Wah, wah.
My mom's... I should just... I'm getting her to just text, not call.
Huh?
Your mom? That must be nice.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy's mom called me.
That
She's
would
dead.
be truly bizarre.
Yeah, I know. I got a magic phone.
Now she's calling you, Katie. You're her backup.
Your mom?
No,
No.
Katie's mom is calling her now because it's her backup. Calling me as the primary call.
Send her to voicemail. You're busy.
Trying.
Your poor
Hopefully
mother.
she's not watching live.
Your poor mother.
Your mom's on Twitch.
My
Why
mom
won't
listened to
they
our
answer?
second episode and was like, I'm not going to listen to it anymore. You guys are dirty.
She's not wrong.
Don't use those words.
I think we talked about that too.
Did we ever? I was trying to do a G-rated cast once because of my nephew.
How'd
I
that
don't
work
remember
out?
if we ever. I went a whole one without swearing once.
Did you break out in the cold
It
sweat?
problem with.
It's the whole like fisting.
You didn't
Yeah.
swear, but there was a lot of things happening.
The bucket episode, for example.
Yeah.
I was not present for the bucket episode, but I have heard
I
about it
wasn't
many
either.
times.
That was
No, you were at the bucket.
not as far as I am willing to admit.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, I was on it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until like episode like 130 or something that I missed one.
That was the episode where one of the participants asked us to disguise his name for
Yeah.
To be fair, he was right to do so because yes,
Yeah.
Well, we haven't figured out our real names.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, we are all unemployable after this.
At least we're clever enough to use each other's names.
Yeah.
We'll never figure out which one of us is actually named Katie.
It's a mystery. All right. Good times.
So what else? What else people got going on?
I watched the first half of Dune yesterday. Good times.
Which Dune?
Which one?
The David Lynch one.
Oh, okay.
We went to pre-played, and I bought Unforgiven, and we went there to buy the Friday the 13th remake because I kept talking it up to coworkers.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a copy anymore because I think I loaned it to somebody who never gave it back. So I bought that, and then I bought Unforgiven. Might have been. I bought Unforgiven because Raylene had never seen Unforgiven, and she loves Clint Eastwood. So I got that, and then Dune was there. I'm like, fuck it. I can't remember if I like Dune or not. So I bought Dune.
It's fine. I mean, it's
I love Dune, the mythos, the setting.
The world is amazing.
The world, I've played all the RTSs. I've read all. I love Dune, and I hate David Lynch. And it's amazing how every second of that film, those two things are warring with all their might, like Godzilla and the Mutos.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I never paid attention to any of the actual mythos of Dune, but
Yeah.
I really actually like the film. The film is, I think it actually, it stands the time. The special effects in it are actually really
The special
good
effects hold up surprisingly well.
for a movie that's 30 years old.
The only special effects that don't really hold up are the early CGI ones. But like when you look at like the original Star Wars and they had all the puppets and stuff, it looks really good. They did a really
even
nice
a
job.
lot of like the '80s horror, they relied on making things. It was all props. It wasn't CGI. You're
Right.
exactly right. The early CGI is where you lose it because
Yeah, the early CGI was pretty weak.
And Dune's interesting because they have one piece of CGI in it, but that really doesn't hold up. But it's okay that it doesn't hold up. It's almost better that way, which is the personal force shields. When they're knife fighting, like they put on force shields instead of being like this shimmer around them. It's literally they look like Minecraft people. Like they just have giant rectangular blocks, and their torsos are just Gumby style rectangle of just a yellow shield.
Yeah.
And it's so bulky and bizarre, but it kind of is okay because it's supposed to be crude, ugly technology.
Right.
And so even though that's just because it's shitty old CGI, it's like, yeah, that's okay. It still looks like a
that
force
works.
field.
Yeah.
It's like the shot of, I don't know what the brain thing is, but when that thing is brought in.
The Space Guild.
The Space Guild.
Yes.
Yeah.
When that thing is brought into the first time, it's just such a really
the
cool
turd
shot.
in a fish tank.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I love that world. That book series, there are a few book series that I have read through multiple times, and Dune is one of them.
I would never bother reading the whole series again.
No?
So the first book is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
I
the
think
first,
it's one of
the first book's amazing.
One of the top 10 novels, in my opinion, ever. Might be the top sci-fi novel, if you're going sci-fi specifically. The first trilogy is damned solid. I would read the trilogy over and over and over again.
So that's Dune, Children of Dune,
and the Dune Messiah.
Okay.
This is the one with the giant sandworms, right?
Yes. Yeah.
After that, it gets weird.
So God, Emperor Dune is 4 or
God
5?
Emperor, the third one ends with the assassination of... Yes,
Okay, so 4 must be God, Emperor of Dune.
Yes. And so after that, it just gets weird.
It does. 4 definitely takes a weird, bizarre twist.
And so it gets weird, and then his son takes over, and it gets bad.
Yeah, I only read up through... It's the first 4 or 5 that,
Yeah.
like... I can't remember if God, Emperor Dune's the last one, or there's one more that he wrote. I read those, and then I pretend that his son never touched a pen. Because I've read a couple of them, and they're just not good. And then the ones that are coming out nowadays, because some of them are still being released, are, like, not even written by his son. They're, like, ghost-written with his son's name, and it's bizarre.
Yeah. No, and it's... I think that each of the first... What would you say? Each one is less good than the previous one, but the first 3 almost maintain it, and it's just a big dip for the 4th and 5th one, which is why you can read all 5 of them, and it's cool, but the first 3 are just so solid, and they're contained enough. And the first one is contained enough that I'm
No, you don't have
perfectly
to read the
happy to
others.
recommend people just read that one.
I would agree. You can just read the first one, and it's not... You're not doing yourself a disservice. It's just if you really like the world, there's more there.
Yeah, it's
My challenge was I read Dune for the first time in the last 3 years, and it was
You
too
saw
hyped.
the movie?
No, I read the book.
You'd heard too much about it.
Within the last 3 years, I read the book finally, and I thought it was okay, but it was just one of those things where it was just too talked about for too long by too many people that it was just hard to get a fair opinion of it. And it is written long far enough ago that it's the writing style is older. It's like when I read the Black Company books, they're from the 80s, and their writing style is different. It doesn't make it bad. It just makes it different. So when you read, like, Dune was written a long time ago, so its style is just different. Yeah, so there's definitely a different feel to that.
I like the sound of thunder,
storm.
and there's also sirens going off in the background, so it's like a thunderstorm of sirens. It's like the best.
That's quality podcasting.
Yeah.
People were shooting off fireworks already last night.
Yeah, our neighborhood
I
was full
love
of
neighbors.
fireworks.
Anyone who shoots fireworks in town, I like because I know those people are idiots, and I just like to have them marked.
My
So-
neighborhood
Somebody
this time
set
of
off
year,
a big one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like one of the ones that, like,
Sure
they
that
set
wasn't
off at a
another meth
fireworks
lab
show.
exploding?
No, because we
okay.
were walking by, and he's like, "Hey guys, I just want to let you know I'm setting off a firework." And I was like, "Okay." And then it was like, "Bye." I was
It
like,
was
"Okay."
a big firework.
I'm like, you're in the city, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
My neighborhood, I get to play the fun game, which is that a firework or gunshots?
Well, yeah, I was
Wow,
just
this is a
saying.
little different.
The other 11 months of the year, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a gunshot. But this month is like, could be fireworks.
It's a gun, but it could be a firework.
They're using fireworks to mask the gunshot.
Yeah, it's just a drive-by with Roman candles and a Glock.
and also a Glock.
It's festive.
They make a shotgun with a bunch
I
of
don't
Roman
think
candles on the end of
Glocks
it.
go pew pew.
That was the Roman candles.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Roman candles, was it a dachshund? There's a internet video with a dachshund that grabs a Roman candle
It's
and
running
then just
around.
running around chasing its owners with the Roman candle.
Oh my goodness.
Because
Yeah, they set it up and he just runs out and grabs it. He's like, I got it, Daddy!
I got it.
Running around shooting Roman candle.
Every time it fires off, it freaks out for a second.
But it never drops it.
Nope.
Is the dog okay?
Yeah, the dog's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is its ears okay?
Yeah, because it's in its mouth. Like it's holding it in its mouth, and it's shooting out the. Oh, sorry, it's shooting out the side. You know, because it's not like it's holding it forward and getting the recoil. It grabs it, and so it's shooting sideways. So it's not even shooting at the people it's chasing. It's shooting at the people next to it while it's chasing different people.
The people it's ignoring.
It's not like the old possibly true, possibly false story about the guy who was he was gonna go ice fishing and he was using like dynamite to blast through the ice, and his retriever brought the dynamite back to him.
Oh, I've heard the story. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's
an urban
apocryphal,
legend,
but I could
yeah.
be wrong.
It's probably apocryphal. On the other hand, maybe not.
Well, on the other hand, it'd be terrible. What else we got today? I don't know. I don't know that we actually had topics today.
Well, I don't know. I spent 12 hours assembling Shadows of Brimstone, like accessories and card sleeving. And
Well, the picture you sent me of those two boxes, like you basically had a U-Haul truck back up to your house.
Yeah.
Speaking of U-Haul, have you guys heard, or maybe not, My Fun Friday?
I don't know that I've heard this
So
yet.
Friday, I get a call from my stepdaughter.
Okay.
She called me instead of her mom because she knows her mom would have just yelled at her, and I just like grit my teeth and go, "We'll get through this." Like, so I'm her go-through when something goes terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Because I just don't care. I'm a nihilist. We'll all die eventually anyway, so we'll just solve this stuff in the meantime. So she is moving out of her place. She's moving into her new apartment August 1st.
Okay.
So she calls me Friday, last day of June, and says, my landlord fucked up, and he called me, and he said that I have to be out today. So I need to go home, I need to get my lease, and I need to go, can you come with me to talk to my landlord to point out that they're wrong about the lease? I'm like, yeah, whatever, we'll do that, fine, that's fine. So she gets home, she calls me, and she's like, hey, funny story.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong. So at 3 in the afternoon on Friday, she found out her lease was up that night at midnight.
That's weird.
And she had no place to live until August 1st. So after work, I had to go to her place, load all of her worldly possessions into a U-Haul truck, find a place to put all of her worldly possessions, and find a place for her to live for the next month.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Good times.
Off of Todd Drive, there's some month-by-month rental places that aren't that bad, and they've got some like nice facilities.
You know what's month-to-month rental? Her place, because her landlord said, hey, you can stay. There's just like $100 fee because... And she was just angry at him, so she said no.
What?
And we found that out halfway through loading up the U-Haul, and I almost choked her to death.
Yeah, I would have killed her.
The other thing that's weird is usually landlords send a notice like the week before that's like, hey, just a reminder, your lease is up next week.
And
I've never gotten
she
a
was
reminder.
mad about not being reminded, which is why she said, I don't want to stay here another month. But on the other hand, I'm like, I would have paid it. I would have paid everything.
Well, I would have just said, do you have another apartment? Like, even if he didn't say that, like, I would have been like, I don't have anywhere to go for a month. Is there, like, another apartment that I can
Well,
just,
and what are
like,
the odds
take
that he's
for a
got it
month?
rented already? Like,
So you and who was helping her move?
Raylene. But once we got the U-Haul like half loaded, the stepdaughter was like, "Oh, we can't leave it unguarded." So Raylene's job became sit on the grass playing on her Kindle, so that nobody stole
no one
everything out of the
stole her
U-Haul.
stuff.
You could just leave
so
it
then
in
it was
U-Haul.
just, you sure can, but yeah, I wasn't gonna fight. That was my Friday. Good times.
Hey,
Great
thanks
oldies.
for calling. We would have helped if you called.
So the
I
place,
would not have.
I would not have blamed you. The place where we found to put all our worldly possessions, it's called my basement.
oh.
Actually, that's half of it. The other half is in a storage facility in Mazamani. So
Really?
we had to drive up to Mazamani at midnight to
Oh my
unload our
gosh.
U-Haul, go back and do a second trip and load all of our stuff that now wouldn't fit into the Mazamani place into our
Into your basement. Oh my god. Because carrying luggage up and down extra flights of stairs is always hilarious.
Also, that same day, our other stepkid, there's 3, but the other one was moving into our house with his fiance. So we were moving 2 sets of
Oh my
stepchildren
gosh.
simultaneously into our house, and I want to die.
Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
just
pretty terrible.
messing with Twitch here to see if I can.
Does that actually
Andy,
show?
Go, little Dachshund, go! Yay!
And
He's
now it
running
changes-
around shooting. Patoosh!
I like to do, like,
Like, what was,
what is
that
that over there?
Yeah, it's on purpose. That dog's angry about something.
Or really happy.
I like that they're bothering to chase it. It's like, just stay away.
Yeah.
It'll run out of rounds eventually, and then he just has a cardboard tube.
Yeah, and then you can just worry about that then.
There we go.
That was funny.
Awesome, I
That
can
was
do that now. I didn't know I could.
But now chat's gone.
No, chat will be there. It'll be fine.
I don't know. This looks really sketchy.
You get some talk.
I'm really glad that it's raining because yesterday we planted a bunch of plants and now I don't have to water them. And I'm excited about that.
That's true. We did a lot of yard work yesterday. The backyard looks really good on the bright side.
Our friend Chris is moving next week, and it's great because he's getting movers because he's an adult.
Flame strike.
I mean, he had planned. It wasn't like a surprise. He
Right.
obviously couldn't have got movers.
They're getting a new house, right?
Yeah,
I remember talking about
house,
it.
But
Yeah.
it's the best thing about movers is they don't have to ask me
Yeah, that's true.
because he's one of the he's in the very 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 short list of people I would probably say yes to if they asked me to help move. There's like 3 people on that list.
I like that. There's 3 people on that list. Minus him leaves 2 people, and there's 4 of us in
There's
this
4
room.
of us in this room. Clearly, at least 50% of us, maybe more, are not on that list.
Oh, you 2 are not on the list because I expect you 2 to pay for movers. There's no way
Damn it.
I'd help you 2.
He's got a valid point.
and of these 2, neither one of them might not be on the list. Actually, probably neither of them.
You didn't help me last time.
There you go.
Wait, no, I think maybe.
I gave a little bit of assist.
Brian's just mad at me because I got credit for a couple of TV show recommendations. Maybe if you recommended more strongly, I wouldn't get credit.
I recommended like 4 times. You recommended the 5th time. Oh, thanks, Nathan.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, Internet.
Well, the last times I moved, I got movers for myself. So now I feel like now that I moved myself, I know because when you help someone move, it's a nonstop. You help me, I help you, I help you. You help me.
That's how that works.
Pass around the thing. But now that I've opted out of
Once you break the cycle,
now
you're out of the cycle.
I say here's $600. I never have to help someone move again. It's a good fee.
One time, my mom got professional movers to help her move, and they were like a scam group. Like she got totally fucked because what they did, and it's the shadiest goddamn thing, was they estimated how long it would take them to they did it by like step count or something, but they estimated what it would take for them to move her stuff. Sure. And then when they met that estimate, they're like, oh, well, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We'll keep working at double the rate that the estimate was quoted at because now we're into extra work and extra work costs double. And, of course, now half her shit is on their truck.
Yeah.
So she can't say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
I watched
have to
episodes of
prepay?
Judge Judy with those.
There are so many,
there's
like, and that's probably true where you are. But like, say like Madison has some pretty reputable movers.
Yeah,
companies.
sure.
But there are,
yeah.
like any.
She was
any
moving
market-
out of Chicago.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, I've never told you guys what happened to me when I moved to Madison.
Yeah, but we didn't care.
All right, well, that's fine too then.
Wow, that was.
Yeah, it was. At least I didn't put a model in a Twinkie.
What I would do is say okay and then call my credit card company and tell them it's a false charge.
That actually happened on that
That same Judge Judy show.
So what
Good
did
call.
Judge Judy say?
They went by the contract, what they had.
So she paid only the
contract.
It was written into the contract, and that was bad for the person.
Yeah.
On the flip side, like, she still gets paid. Like, the way that those shows work,
Yeah.
So at the very least, her bill got paid for it.
Yeah.
The best thing I saw on Judge Judy was when somebody was suing because some guys stole, like, her purse, and she was giving a list of what was in the purse, and she said there was this, there was this, there was this, there was, some lipstick, and the guy goes, there wasn't any lipstick in there. And Judge Judy just burst out laughing and just banged her gavel and left the room.
Yeah.
That is the reason to watch the shows.
I love Judge Judy. He thinks it's retarded.
She's my third favorite of the daytime judges. She's
But
solid.
man, she makes so much money.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She does make obscene amounts of money.
She makes a lot of money, and she's so like an old biddy that just
She's the old biddy.
not going to take your shit.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, her Marilyn Milian, and Judge Mathis are all worth watching.
Yeah.
I just
Not Judge Joe Brown. Fuck that guy.
the problem I have with them isn't so much them. It's just most people I know that watch that kind of stuff will watch that kind of crap, then roll right into like a Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz nonsense.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
And so you guys understand that, but it's like there's too much association with other people that I can't. It's just so by association I can't handle them because they enable those other terrible things.
Well, I didn't watch Survivor and Big Brother for a long, long, long time because the people I knew that watched Survivor and or Big Brother also watched Real Housewives and watched
The Bachelor.
and watched like all of those shows that I know are horrific and stupid and terrible and like, oh my God, just kill yourself. And so I never watched them. And then recently, Brian's friend Tim, well, I guess he's our friend Tim as well, but Brian originally introduced us to Tim, finally convinced Katie and I to watch Big Brother.
No, that's not true. I was watching Big Brother by myself.
Oh, were you?
And you told Tim about it, and then Tim and I were chatting back and forth about it.
And then I got pulled into it.
And you're like, I guess I want to watch it too.
So anyway,
Well, because Tim pulled me into Survivor somewhere around like season 29. So obviously the show's up for a long time. I had never considered watching it.
Yeah.
But Tim, for years, was him and some coworkers were having so much fun watching it. I finally got pulled in.
well, and that was the thing. Like we watched Big Brother, and then we got all into Survivor because Big Brother was so good,
Yeah, I like Big Brother better than Survivor.
And then we got Tim got us into the Genius, which I got Nathan into.
which I haven't watched yet.
And
But
you guys have to watch the
we
Genius.
will watch it at some point.
God damn it, watch The Genius.
So
So we probably won't be here for the next couple of podcasts because Big Brother shows at 7 p.m.
On Sunday.
You have a
Okay.
DVR.
We actually don't,
We have CBS All Access.
which means we can't watch it till the next fucking day,
Yeah.
like a loser.
So let's watch the next day then.
yeah.
I know your schedule's
Well,
pretty busy, Katie.
we're also leaving on a
I
giant
wait for
trip
him to
in like
watch
3
it.
weeks. So you guys, I don't know if we've actually said
You're
that on
leaving on
air.
a shitty garbage trip for shitty garbage people going
an
to shitty
amazing
garbage
trip.
cities. I'm sorry, does it include going to literally the worst city on the planet? Oh, wait, it does. So it can't be that good.
So
go
you
to
have to
Gary?
disregard
Gary,
the rest
Indiana?
of the trip because of the 2 days we're in
Because we're in
Rome.
Rome.
2 days?
Well,
oh, that's
like a day and a
one
half.
would be bad enough.
3.
What?
It might be 3 days.
When?
Oh, it's
Because
the
we-
worst.
Because we get
Oh,
in.
What city?
We get in the
Rome.
evening, and then we're there for the
Rome
day,
is
and then the next day we leave at
terrible.
like 2.
It's like 3 days.
It's like a day and a half.
Have you been?
No.
Do
It's
not
very
be.
dirty.
Do not be to Rome.
My best experience in Rome was this old
Leaving
lady.
Well,
this
yes.
old lady ran into me and then started yelling at me.
Was this when you? When
She was
you guys
probably
went
trying to rob
Austria?
you as well.
No, she wasn't. I was just in her way.
No, this will be our first time in Rome together, actually.
Security at Rome held me at AK-47 gunpoint for 10 minutes, and that was the best part of being in Rome. Because it was at the airport on my way out, and I'm like, this is worth leaving Rome.
To be fair, you're a sketchy-looking individual.
I forgot that I had fingernail clippers in my pants pocket.
Oh, jeez.
This was like September 13th, 2001. Like,
It was a bad day to
right,
forget.
yeah.
Well,
like,
it's a bad day to forget your nail clippers. Yeah.
They were attached to a grenade.
I think it was actually November, but it was very
was still
briefly
very-
after.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
I flew October that year. It
Yeah.
was unfortunate.
people were twitchy. Like, it was literally like,
Oh,
I
I
went
know.
through and beeped. I'm like, oh, look, I have nail and there's
And then
AKs
AKs.
pointing at me. I'm like, you can have them. I pretended
Don't
like I was
throw them.
retarded. I'm not even lying. I'm like, I don't know how why. None of this is a lie. I went up to that because I figured that would be more likely to make them not kill me.
That's probably
You
true.
went full
Yeah,
retard.
I went full retard. I really did.
So-
If someone's pointing guns at me, I understand. It's understandable.
November of that year, I flew from Indiana back to Delaware, and Indiana was on like lockdown because they were convinced that the chemical weapons processing facilities in Indiana, which no one gives any shits about, were a
knows
major
about.
or knows exist, were a major target. Only I flew home with a beard twice as long as Nathan's, but brown, with my skin dark and long dark brown hair in like torn up clothes because I was a college student.
Yeah.
I got everything except fisted at that airport. I was in the security line. After I got up to the security scanner, I was there over an hour. And during that period, they found my lockpick set in my baggage, which they also did not appreciate.
Yeah, but did
Fair.
you go full retard?
I did not go full retard. I got angry, which was probably not the right move.
I
in
was
that
only held
particular
up.
juncture.
I was only held up for like I said, like 10
Oh
minutes.
no, I was there over an hour. It's a good thing I was there early for my flight.
I think every minute with a gun pointed at you, though, it does change.
No guns were pointed at me.
It's like dog time.
yeah.
Just
There were no guns.
I don't know why that was my first idea of how to solve the situation. I just handed one of them the thing and just kind of started wandering away, and they let me go. It was great.
Just yelling Hodor.
within the next year of after 9/11, I ended up flying out to my mom's place and I took all my paints with me.
Oh, all the liquid.
All my little mini paints. I
Yeah.
took them all with me and they let me have them.
What?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Well,
I
every time
wasn't even thinking.
they test the people all the time, and people get on the plane. They always fail like 99%.
Oh, they fail
Yeah.
almost every
People
test.
get on the planes with like everything ridiculous. If you put
Yeah.
the effort into
I've
it,
gotten on the plane with scissors since since 9/11,
Oh, yeah.
like this long in my purse because I forgot about them. And so
Yeah.
I got to the other place I was going. I was like, oh, look, I have scissors.
To be fair, they have caught 0 people ever.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know,
So they got that going for
they
them.
got that going for them.
But they
That's
charge
worth
us
them
more.
videotaping your genitals in a giant machine that costs a fuck ton
Hey,
of
at least
tax
someone's
money.
looking at him.
Yeah, that's true.
Really? He's like, turn off the lights.
Wow! Oh, that was savage. Quick, Nathan, act retarded. See if it helps.
That's what I do when Raylene tells me to turn off the lights. I turn off the lights and go, I don't know lights!
Oh my god!
Oh, this is terrible. We had a guy write in and complain once because Brian said Riri. This is going to be
Oh, this is gonna
awful.
be way worse. Way
Can't
worse.
handle the word retard.
You're listening to the wrong podcast.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I like the retards.
I mean, if John hasn't kicked us off of Muse yet, I mean, we're pretty safe.
That does shock me.
I just don't know when it went to not a PC word. Except for all of a sudden people at work started yelling at me.
All the words that your family says, they're not PC. Every word.
It's used it's used in a derogatory way. I think that's why
I
it's
blame the
not a PC.
millennials.
Yeah. I blame the millennials for
Well,
everything
actually,
too.
who I blame are people who get offended on behalf of other people.
Oh,
Yeah.
the social justice warriors.
Yep.
Well,
SJWs.
yeah, I don't want to use that word because it's like
That's-
parents of mentally handicapped children that get offended,
Ah.
and so they don't want people using the word because I think it reminds them of their children and they take it personally, as opposed to people just being like calling someone an idiot. I mean, that's basically what it is you're being an idiot.
Right.
I mean,
and
yeah.
so I think that's what the thing is, though. Calling somebody else retarded when they're being an idiot is offensive to actually mentally handicapped people. The same way that if I think that Jeremy's doing something stupid, I tell him he's being faggy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying, I'm not calling a gay guy a fag. I'm not
No,
using a direct
I know,
slur,
but
but
my
I'm using
point
a
is,
slur
I don't
word.
know that mentally handicapped people get offended.
Well, probably not because they're too retarded to understand.
oh my god.
That was right there. There was no way I couldn't say that.
You were just quicker
You
than
were
me.
thinking
You were
it.
quicker than me. I was like, I was choking on it. This was the
Hey.
problem.
I
was
knew
just
you
choking
of
on-
anyone.
Oh yeah,
there.
I inhaled instead of exhaled. I almost passed out trying to get it out. Oh my god, Woo. that was pretty awful.
That was glorious.
I'm gonna have to edit out like
Sorry,
at the
Brad, you can have the
45-minute
next
mark now.
So anyway,
So after the podcast, I have a really bad story I got to tell you guys.
Why after?
It's really
Really
bad.
if Katie doesn't want to say it on air, Andy, imagine how bad it is.
It's not. So
No.
I used to work for a small company, and the owner's wife said some very derogatory things, and I don't want to say them on air.
That's fair. No,
Fair
that's
enough.
That's fair.
I offended someone really bad on the internet this week. They actually had to message me personally after I insulted them. They're like, "Hey, dude." I'm like, "Oh, good for you." I was just like,
What did you say to
There's a
him?
red square.
I mean,
on
what
that
did
thing.
what do you say that offended them?
I just call him a fuckwad and super pretentious, and I just had a nice little sentence. It was actually kind of a small. It was small, but it was very pinpointed and it was a deep,
was
deep
targeted.
simple cut. Yes,
Yeah.
it was a targeted cut.
Yeah.
I was very
It
proud
wasn't
of
a
it.
gash; it was a
No,
stab.
No,
it was.
Surgical precision.
Yeah.
that was just Jason showing up at the doorstep is basically what
Yeah.
Ryan did.
It was pretty good.
I pointed out to him when we were playing Friday the 13th, and then I suddenly saw his post afterwards. I'm like, whoo!
Yeah, he's like so and so said something stupid. I go, he did. And I quick responded with just a nice little,
Oh, my.
moral wound and went back to the game. Well, I didn't have time for anything long, so I just had to like get to the point. And I didn't even read the full message. I just had you have a message from so and so. I'm like, whatever. I don't even care.
Oh, man, I feel like I missed this, and I'm
Yeah,
sad.
you need to pass this on to me. I mean,
The
we're not
person-
going to talk about it
you
on
blocked
here.
the person. And I thought Facebook unblocked the person from me. For some reason.
Well, I know who that person
Facebook
probably
is
is.
like, no, you need to enjoy this person some more. And I'm like, no, I don't. Facebook.
Is it a certain XPG?
It's a pickle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know who that is.
I know who it is.
Yeah, tell me.
I'll tell you,
My ear.
all this off-air stuff later. We'll
talk later.
Yeah, tell me in my ear.
No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
we'll talk shit about people later off air. The listeners don't know.
I
these
will
people.
insult anyone locally on the air, or I will insult anyone that I know is listening on the air.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't want to insult people I know aren't listening who aren't local.
Yeah,
that's
what-
where it's rude.
because that's
We don't
behind
need
their back
comments.
then.
We don't
I
need their
say
comments.
certain things about certain people locally, and then it has to get edited out because it's just too on the edge. Although Quimby is a noob, and And that was the nicest thing I've ever said as far as being
It's
mean.
the nicest thing you've ever said about Quimby.
If he was here, I would have been.
Guys.
If he was like sitting in that chair when you said that comment,
Yeah.
I would have been perfectly fine.
I
with
mean,
it.
I guess you shouldn't say mean things about minors. I guess you know he's an adult, so insulting someone.
Minors, not minors.
No, he's a minor.
Oh, you broke your toy.
Impossibear's head fell off.
That's impossible.
Apparently not.
No,
Do we have a topic? No.
45 minutes
We did,
into
we did another kitchen competence, and I burped, and it smells bad.
Those are two different things.
Is that
Two
what the episode is
unrelated
called?
things. No.
It's just
No.
like a three minute.
No,
episode.
one of the things is in the past, and one is happening right now.
Next week we're gonna do oxtail soup.
Yeah.
I have been requested by 2 people to crash your episode with some crackers and eggs and just be like, you're in the middle of it. It's like, nope, hold on, people. I need to show you to make this great course.
Well, we've told you you could come over.
Bring a light.
I got an idea. Just do it in picture.
Oh, God.
A little shot of
No,
you down
I
in the
think-
corner, like making crackers and eggs.
I think you're
Eating
making
them.
assumptions about our editor.
No, and then keep it going the whole length because his will take like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and the whole time it's in the corner just eating
Just
the crackers
loop
and
it.
eggs with the fork.
So
help
And then
out
you
with that. I'll
finish,
get
and then
you
you're
the
just
video
washing the dishes.
technically, there's a third episode that's in the can, but I haven't got it edited yet. Because we have 2 posted, and then you guys filmed a third already.
Yeah, when you say in the can, I thought you meant you threw it away. Like
No. Like, sorry. No, it's recorded but not yet edited.
I thought he meant it was pooping.
Speaking of editing, we need to work on a new Pain Train. I realized after watching the previous Pain Train, because I was watching it as I was editing, that we talked about way too much of what another reviewer talked about.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm excited to try oxtail soup. Nathan's had it before. It was Nathan's pick. But he said it's amazing, and it sounds fantastic.
I've made it before.
Oh, you've never eaten it before?
I made it when I was working in a restaurant during college. I never actually got to eat it. I taste tested, but I've never sat down with a
Had
bowl of it.
Okay.
I had some kale yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's my story.
Yeah. Well, we were going to bake some
I was
kale.
promised for baked kale with
And then Katie
stuff.
decided not to bake it, but
got-
still put it on our plates for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, we still needed our vegetable for the day. You got it 14 seconds
I don't
a
know
week.
one has ever seen a vegetable a day other than terrorists and retards.
It would be adorable retarded terrorist.
That would be an amazing sitcom.
He's got a suicide vest, but the helmet on too. I decided I don't care this episode.
little bus just getting around. Oh man.
Is he a friend?
Like,
of
when they drive the truck into the military places to blow up, but it's a short bus, and they're just driving the short bus through the military
and they
cordon.
park it in the handicap spot
Yeah, spot.
because that's the closest to the target.
Hey, equal rights. Retards can be terrorists too. There's
I
nothing
think
to hold them.
most terrorists are retards.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
Well, there's something
Oh,
not right in
political.
your brain.
I really like. I believe it's actually pronounced pho, not faux. I always mispronounce it though.
Yeah, it's pronounced pho. The reason you know it's pronounced pho is because every strip mall pho joint that thinks they're clever calls himself the pho king.
Ah, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really like pho. So Andy about
Pho's good. Any salty broth style soup like ramen, pho, chicken noodle, like those are all good.
the problem with a lot of those soups is I haven't put celery on there, and celery just ruins everything.
Speaking of ramen, have you been to? There's a where
Umami
next to-
Ramen Kid or Ramen Station?
the one where Fish Hatchery meets.
That's Ramen Station.
I really liked Ramen
Yeah,
Station.
I haven't made it to Ramen Station yet. I was to Umami years ago when it was the only ramen place
Right.
in Madison, and it was okay. Ramen Kid I haven't been to yet, and Ramen Station I haven't been to.
I went to Ramen Station a couple weeks after they opened because like the first week or two they were open, they were just a madhouse apparently. And then once it calmed down, I went with some friends for lunch, and it was tasty. But the problem is, I don't know that I liked it more than pho, and it's more expensive than pho. And Brian is
Andy, I don't think you just smushed them together. Or
the velocity, jump on in.
jump on it.
So, yeah, what? Pho? It's a thing?
Yeah, continue with your story.
No, I'm good.
When you're coming up, it's Olin that dead ends into Fish Hatchery there. The stoplight is there, so instead of it saying Ramen Station, it says Ramen Tadio. And
Does
so
it
that's
really?
what I call it, because the S and the N are covered up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Ramen Tadio. I've tried to go there 3 times, and it's been closed every time.
That's
Because they
too
have
bad.
that window where they have like lunch from X to Y,
Yeah.
and then an hour later they start dinner, so they
yeah.
spend that hour being closed for no reason.
For no reason. Well, I mean, they might
Jeremy,
have a
look at his
reason.
butt.
I don't know why you asked, but I did.
So yeah, so I like Ramen Station. I still think the pho place. There's also a place that's not technically pho. They call it Chinese soup. That's right down next to the Badger Stadium.
So the correct place to go is Saigon Noodles on Odana.
I like Saigon noodles. I don't know that it's my favorite.
What?
I like talking about local places.
I
that
was
you
going to
can
say,
eat.
I don't often care what our listeners, but I think listeners are like, what's happening right now?
Anyway, just saying, delicious
Yeah,
food.
this is where they're like, I can't watch this show.
Whatever.
It's like, I was upset with the retards, but now this local cuisine thing is killing me.
One of our first 4 or 5 episodes, we talked about Cato's Cajun in the mall for 20
We
minutes.
did.
Because we talked about sneaking extra samples.
Yep. Which is still a
Actually,
good tip.
that's almost like every other
I
episode.
have to
Yeah, but it's a good,
They're so the last thing I want is their food, and they keep trying to throw it at me, so I have to keep swatting it away.
swat it into my mouth.
I go if I'm eating
That's
the
a
wall.
soundboard.
Yeah.
I go to the sub place. I love the subs there.
That's fine, but you go and you get your free
Steak
sample
Escape?
of Cato's Cajuns.
No.
The actual sub place?
Yeah, the
Because I like Steak Escape.
Steak
there,
Escape's
too.
good too.
Oh
They
my God.
they fresh cut their fries there.
Yep.
More local restaurant talk. Although these are franchises.
Those are chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in every mall ever.
With the Steak Escape, though, you got to go. That's on your way out of the mall.
I have either
Yes.
sandwiches from the sandwich place or pretzels.
On your way in, you get your Cato's Cajun sample.
Yep.
Then you go shopping.
Yeah.
Then you come back and get a Cato's Cajun sample.
Yeah.
Then you eat Steak and Shake or whatever.
Steak Escape.
Or Steak and Shake if you got it. 'cause
Not
I
Yeah.
suppose if you have it,
Then
yeah.
you get another Cato's Cajun sample. That's what you do is you just get as many of the samples as you can.
That's fair. The samples are delicious.
Yeah. Just pretend you didn't have one yet.
There you
I
go.
don't think they would care if
I
you
don't
took
think
the
they
whole
care.
tray.
I'm pretty sure if you just stood there eating off the tray, the guy'd be like, "Yep, sure, no, don't care, whatever."
He might care.
He might. I don't
He
know.
might care if he got yelled at.
That one really loyal employee.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I
Well,
don't.
no, I assume that at least one of the people working there at all times is one of the franchisees.
Maybe that may be
I
true.
feel like that's a small enough place that's like a husband and wife team, and one of them is always there.
I don't know. It depends how many
It
they
does.
own. Because if they own a couple of different franchises,
Because Yummy Guy isn't there, and I always assumed he owned the place because he was there literally
All the time.
24/7.
the guy at Firehouse Subs definitely owns the place.
He definitely owns it. The one that's always like super peppy and like running
Which
orders out the
Firehouse?
tables. The one
One on Mineral Point.
on Mineral
See,
Point.
there's one like a block from my house too,
Yeah, there is.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
But what
and a
made me
Dunkin'
mad
Donuts just opened up next to it, so that's a dangerous place to
That's dangerous.
is we used to go on Fridays, the four of us. We didn't invite you, and
be. Fair.
and like he memorized everybody's name but mine.
Yeah, that's true. He never learned yours. He still. It might be because we used to put our order together on my name.
No, I would order separately because I usually got there at a different time
Oh,
than you
okay.
guys.
I don't know.
So you
And
get
you-
New York Steamer because that's the best goddamn sandwich.
The Cleveland?
No, I
No.
always got the steak sandwich.
The New York Steamer is delicious.
I really like the meatball sub.
You can
at
like the
Firehouse.
meatball sub, but the New York
With
Steamer.
pepperoni on
No,
it.
the cheddar, the thing with the meat,
The brisket one.
the brisket.
The brisket's also amazing. Although the brisket, I
I'm
need a
sure
toilet
they're
within
also
10 minutes.
phenomenal, but my guess is that you've never had a New York Steamer.
I'm guessing that we
I
haven't
haven't.
eaten yet today, and that's why we're all talking about food.
I've eaten.
Yeah, we had.
I just made Indian food before I came over. I made tikka masala, and they were out of samosa at the grocery store, so I got pork buns instead, which isn't ethnically correct, but
No,
I
but
didn't
delicious.
care because pork buns are delicious.
Pork buns are delicious.
I got
Zappity.
Grumble.
Zappity.
We had chicken from Brennan's.
That's true. Chicken
Oh,
cordon.
boy.
I had chicken cordon bleu.
Yeah.
It was good.
I had chicken with garlic and butter and
was
chives.
also
It
tasty.
was delicious.
Do we have Zappities?
Anything that's not talking about what food we ate or what restaurants exist around our house.
Everyone watching this episode is either angry or hungry or hangry.
I think they're gone. I'm sorry, Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle was like chatting and being helpful, and he's just like, I give up on life.
Yeah.
No, he was fine with it.
What
I mean,
kind?
to be honest with you, people who listen to us all the time. They
That's
listen
true.
to us for 200 some episodes,
Yeah.
and we've talked about a lot of.
But
stupid
sometimes
shit.
with your, because I've got thank yous when we've talked, and suddenly people like spent 5 minutes talking about their plans for tomorrow to hang out, and they're like, "Thank
Yeah.
you for stopping that." Or,
Well, yeah.
and we get yelled at for when I talk about the food place a little bit too much. I mean, those are places where they do like our banter, but they don't need 30
That's
minutes
fair.
of us.
So we have an actual Zappity here.
Was Radar Love in Baby Driver?
The song?
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
I remember, but maybe.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of music in the movie.
My ex-wife just texted me and said I need to see Baby Driver, and she says that every time she hears Radar Love, she thinks of my insistence of it being the best driving song ever, which it is.
It's definitely not referred to as the best driving song in that movie.
There's a Queen song they use. Well, there's a Queen
Yeah,
song that
yeah.
they
Yep,
use. in
but
it.
honestly, in my opinion,
Fuel
that's-
is a good one too, but there's
Nope.
Radar Love's a classic driving song. I think
It is a
yeah.
classic driving song, but I still think, and this can go into almost every single movie ever made, and it was proven to me that like a year after I quoted it, Magic Carpet Ride.
Oh sure. Well, I mean, it's great for the first warp flight ever.
Yes, exactly. Well, that was the part because I was ranting about that for like a good year before I saw First Contact, And then when it started in First Contact, I'm like, because Go had it as well.
Go's a good
That's a great sequence.
So, what kind of hero or villain archetype would you be if you were a character in a video game?
What
Jeremy would be
archetypes are we talking about?
Jeremy would be a rogue.
Yeah, I would probably be a rogue. That's fair.
Be a
If we're talking like RPG archetypes, I'd almost definitely be a rogue.
Yeah.
You're not the boss of me. Does anyone else have an
Zappity.
answer? No one else has an answer, apparently.
I'd be a villain archetype.
Yeah, I'm not sure what villain archetypes there are.
My personal spirit animal is Dr. Zachary Smith from Lost in Space. I would try to behave exactly like that at all times.
Like a creepy
Like
pedophile.
a creepy pedo?
Not a creepy pedophile, like a sniveling coward.
Thank you,
A sniveling coward who thinks only of himself and will sell out the rest of the crew in a nanosecond if it means that he survives. I am Benny from The Mummy,
Yeah, you are Benny from the movie.
and I'm not afraid to admit it.
And I'm not even 100% sure Benny's a villain.
Tell you what, all those fucking cowboys get eaten. Benny doesn't.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
fair.
And he
like,
goes out in a pretty bad
Benny-
way, though.
Benny
he
was
does, but he could have got, like, he fucks up at the end there, but the allying himself with the mummy
Yeah.
wasn't what screwed him over. Like,
Yeah.
No.
that was a smart decision at the time.
It was.
Yeah,
Well,
he
it was
was a
either
villain.
that or die. So,
Yeah.
I mean, those are your choices.
I'll
think
go
that's
with the
the-
not dying part.
Anybody else got a Zappity for us?
That was that, and then we have a couple of Twitches in that too.
Let's hear him.
Or not Twitch, but Twitter. So, how do you all foresee Grimkin being a successful mini faction for Warhammer Hordes?
Probably.
It seems like it. It scratches an itch for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, definitely. The theme of it, the aesthetics of it, and
Yeah.
the gameplay mechanics got that different, interesting little tweak to
They
it.
do. They do.
Yeah.
Although, if they're really going to release a faction every year, there's always going to be a new hotness. And
Yeah.
so I wonder about people staying with Grimkin.
Yeah, I'm not sure people stay with it, but I think that people will definitely buy into
You
it.
can almost think of it like this, though, too. For the past, 4 years, they've been releasing almost a new faction a year. Or 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people that are already hopping off of, like, for instance, Cirrus and hopping off of the the Merc sub faction. Cephalix. Like, I already know people that like bought into the Cephalix, or they bought into the why am I forgetting your faction's name?
Cirrus.
And
Convergence,
then Convergence,
technically,
and then quickly hopped out of them again, like within a year or two.
Sure.
But the thing is, though, with Convergence and Grimkin, they're more of a complete faction, as Cephalix is more of a sub-faction. And
I would agree.
I'm almost guessing that that's probably what the new factions a year will be, is like a full-on
A
sub-faction.
contained
Like
sub-faction.
it'll be like maybe the defectors of Lael or something like that, and it'll be like a mercenary
could be.
sub-faction.
It's possible.
That may be able to take some Cator allies and maybe even like some Signar allies or something like that. But I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's interesting. It has has that creepy.
Yeah, it's not my
Ace
cup
of
of tea.
Fables itch that people seem to like. And
I
then
mean, I like it. I mean, they tempted me, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Zappity.
I have to buy all 6 of their goddamn casters.
Well, yeah, that's
Arctic
different.
Circle specified more that its archetypes includes things like noble, demon, magnificent bastard, or psychopath. So it means what kind of type,
Yeah.
like personality-wise.
Sure.
Brian would be a psychopath. Sociopath? Psychopath.
He'd be the
I am a
cleanse the earth
sociopath.
kind of thing. He'd be the cleanse the earth
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
he
the
would
greater
be.
good, like Zorg. He's
Yeah.
the Zorg. Like, oh, this chaos is actually making things better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Zappity.
Grumble.
Okay.
Well, I guess I didn't have a follow-up. Did you have more?
Well, like the other, nobody else answered. Now that we had a clarification.
Well,
like just because I said what Brian is doesn't mean that I answered that. It's
Does anyone
Well,
know?
you're Benny. You're a rogue.
Mm-hmm.
You're cleanse the earth.
I think our Zappity Grumbles have always been too much in depth.
okay. I'm sorry. Since I asked the next question, one of us will answer. Jeremy will say Zappity, and we'll move on.
Perfect. I love this system.
I didn't want to hear out of anybody else anyway. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, I don't even
No,
know.
shut up, Katie. Shut up. Jeremy already said Zappity.
That's sexist.
Well, apparently.
You're silencing my voice because I'm a female.
No, Jeremy's silencing your voice, and it's not because you're a female. It's because Jeremy's egotistical.
I would never silence her
No,
voice.
you're the one who told me to shut up.
He's the one who told you to shut up when
He's
he's
trying to be
Zappity.
efficient.
Yeah, okay. He's trying to finish quickly.
Always asking him to finish quickly. Continue.
Zappity.
Grumble.
I guess our questions are also not ones that really require like yes, no, quick answer type things either.
They used to be.
Well, they used to be a long time ago.
They used to be a long time ago.
Yeah. So, with the advent of PP Card Site, does it affect people buying War Room in the future? For my answer for that, the card site is cool, but printing out cards costs money.
Zappity.
War Room is much cheaper.
That's how we do Zappity Grumble now.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hey, you're not allowed to answer. One person, 75% answered. The new rules are we're done.
I'm sorry. No,
I get your joke. It's a boring topic.
Grumble. Grumble.
That makes more sense.
Okay, I'm glad.
All right, I'm gonna start directing these specifically to people now. So, Katie,
I actually want to answer the last one. Oh no!
You hoisted on your own petard.
Oh, petard.
Katie, who's your favorite Batman Rogue Gallery? And
I have no idea what that means.
Villain. Who's your favorite Batman villain?
Oh,
Zappity.
Grumble. Brian, proper way to cook chicken. Should it be completely brown?
What?
No.
Chicken doesn't turn
Brown?
It does eventually when you pan fry the
Zappity.
outside.
Oh my god.
Are we
Grumble.
Are we out of questions? Then it turns black.
Andy would be the Pamela Voorhees Hufflepuff style of villain where he's avenging somebody because he's got such a big heart. Katie's the chick from Audition. The card thing won't replace War Room because War Room has actual in-game usage functionality, whereas the card website doesn't. The best Batman Rogues villain is either the Ventriloquist or Scarecrow.
Scarecrow is pretty good.
And a little brown, but you're going to put sauce and shit on it anyway, so it doesn't really matter as long as it's not pink in the middle.
Chicken shouldn't be brown.
That's a weird color for chicken, in my opinion.
Probably on the. Probably
No,
talking
like
about
if
the
you
skin.
pan fry like a whole skinless chicken
a
breast,
whole-
it turns brown on the outside.
Yeah.
If you pan fry it in oil, I guess.
Yeah.
But that happens long before the meat's cooked.
I was thinking the inside is brown.
I think they're talking about like
No, they
a
don't
whole
mean
chicken
through.
like itself.
They just
like,
talk about
like a rotisserie
like
chicken.
a rotisserie chicken?
That would be brown on the outside.
Well, it better be.
It better
Yeah.
be, otherwise the chicken's raw.
Yeah.
I'm confused by the question.
All right. So
Don't Google it.
No, I'm
Don't
getting
do
a
that.
picture to show you. Like
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next Zappity Grumble.
All right.
this
I'm
chicken
gonna
breast
ask Jeremy-
is brown on the
Jeremy,
outside
you're up,
because
Jeremy, you're up.
Sure.
I assume that's what they mean.
You've mentioned it before, but what is a better version of Catan?
The better version of Settlers of Catan?
Mhm.
There's lots of things.
Zappity.
Every game?
The best version of Catan is Cities and Knights of Catan, but there's
Yes.
still better games.
There are way better games than Settlers. Like, if what you're looking for is the trading mechanic, then... Because that's what most people are looking for, then I guess...
Bonanza.
Bonanza's actually not bad.
Because it's quick, it's just the trading, there's none of that dice rolling bullshit. You don't
That's
sit there for
true.
15 hours.
I don't know that it's, in my opinion, the best.
I don't think it's the trading aspect that people.
So
like.
what is it that draws people to Settlers? Because a lot of people love
Andy
Settlers.
desperately wants Brian to say Zappity, but his karate chop motions. Cut this off!
I look forward to those of you listening to that at home not knowing what was just going on.
I just look over here and they're just making karate chop noises while their eyes get wider and they stare at each other. Because Andy was being more and more emphatic and Brian was just mirroring his energy, having no clue what was happening. It's just a very excited karate chop contest.
All right, that's it for Zappity Grumble.
All right, bye.
Your recommendations. Have you not been here before?
Now Katie's helping.
She already recommended.
She did.
What did you recommend?
Baby Driver. No, she recommended Power Rangers.
That's right.
Go, go.
Go, go, Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was referencing that.
I know.
Good job. Great job, Detroit.
Oh, wait, there's a couple more.
Oh no, they're all awful.
So I'm going to say, Nathan, have you read the first Law series, and what's your opinions?
It sounds familiar, but I
It's
haven't
Joe
read it.
Anacrombie, the guy who makes the pants.
Oh, then no. I have not read Abercrombie and Fitch's first Law series.
Zappity.
I've never read the author, but I heard he's good. He's a blind spot in
God damn
my
it.
reading.
You are not obeying the Zappity.
Grumble! He's a rebel, Dottie. A loner.
All right, Katie.
What?
Katie, what is the 75% of the number of friends that Brian would help move?
One is Chris.
That might be 75% of the friends Brian would help move.
Does his mom count as a friend?
I told her she's on her own if she moves again.
Nope. Apparently not.
He'd have to help Jordan because he
No.
lives with him.
No, I don't know that he
doesn't
would.
move his own stuff. I don't think that Jordan would offer.
I don't think Jordan would ask, but even if he
Jordan
did,
would
I don't
ask.
think Brian would agree.
We used to help Jordan move back and forth. And he
Jordan used to
help
move so
us,
much.
and he used to help us a lot. But
Even
I
if
think
I
that time has
moved with
passed.
Jordan, I would get movers, so he couldn't even ask me. I got movers for my stuff. I was like, watch him carry stuff back and forth.
I think at this point he would just hire movers,
I think Jordan would, yeah, at this point.
or he'd ask Ted and his brothers.
Yeah, the Glomsky family moving company is what Jordan would use.
Yeah.
Zappity.
Grumble.
All right.
Jen's the other person I'd help move.
That's
Chris's
Chris's wife.
It's a 2 for 1. I can't help what they combined.
Wait, if she leaves him and they're both moving to different
Will you
places,
still help her?
It would be an awkward situation, but I'd have to,
You're a good friend.
Yeah.
And then you come in to grab a box, you're like, "Sorry, Chris." I'm really sorry, Chris.
Do you want me to drown
You
something?
just think he's in the corner watching this the entire time.
Yeah, he's just sitting there just glaring.
He'd be in
and
the corner. I think he'd be in the corner growling / crying, like alternating.
Just drinking.
Per box, drinking heavily.
Booze in one hand, ice cream in the other.
Why wouldn't you just make it like a grasshopper? Why would they have to be in two? You just combine them.
Katie inefficiency.
Zappity.
All right. Recommendations.
Life hacked.
I recommend a grasshopper.
They are delicious.
Yep.
That's a fact. I actually recommend Big Brother. The new season just started up, and it's absurd, and I enjoy it so much.
There's so much.
There's only one sad thing that's already happened this season, and it's 2 episodes have aired. Less than a week, and the sad thing has already
I don't
happened.
know that it's sad. I think that adds to the value of what I watch Big Brother for.
That might be.
12 hours left on the Deception Kickstarter.
Which
FWEE.
The murder hidden trader game that I have, the one that's like Mysterium.
FWEE.
No. The one that's
Oh my God.
The one that's like Mysterium. I know Mysterium.
You've done a lot of stupid shit in your life, Jeremy.
True.
That is far and above
No.
the stupidest goddamn
I
thing.
would argue that that's
Nothing
not true.
is stupider than your stupid face making that stupid noise out of your stupid pie hole. You stupid.
Some would say it's retarded.
It is an insult to retarded people. Even the jokey stereotype, over the top, simple Jack retarded person. To say that they're as stupid as his stupid dumb face making that stupid noise.
It does kind of make that Magnum, the Magnum look. That's
probably-
kind of what that's kind of the face he makes when he says that word.
FYI.
I don't think
I think he hurt his face trying.
He hurt his face trying to do a stupid thing, and he just hit his face again.
No, I've been hitting this with my hand.
Oh, okay. Your nose is your hand?
But
I
your
was
face
watching.
did look real bad. But you didn't do the lips. You got to the lips.
What is happening? That's his normal face. What's happening right now?
Oh, that hurt.
Timestamp that shit. I will make that my avatar on the Muse forums.
Okay, let me give you another cut.
Facebook, I will get that tattooed. That's a new T-shirt.
You have to pucker more.
I would make a T-shirt with that stupid face,
It's
and it'll
like
have
duck lips and more kissy face.
FWEE underneath it, with that stupid face above it.
I need a shirt of that face that says "Hands off, ladies."
It's all mine.
That should be on your T-shirt of unplayable trash. No, to explain to the audience what
just happened?
Jeremy likes to pronounce FYI as
FWEE.
That's FWEE.
Why?
Well, if you pronounce it, it's F and then a Y and then FWEE, obviously.
Is it FWI?
No, it's obviously FWEE.
No, FWI would be FWEE.
No, it's FWEE.
Name any time when a Y makes a W.
In FWEE.
Watch it.
Whoodle.
Wick whack.
Wick whack?
Yik yak was a chat
Yicky-yak.
program.
Yicky. Oh my god.
Don't come
Fucking
back.
idiot.
It's wickety whack.
It's like it's just going down the drain.
You are an idiot.
That time I hit him with my face. I made Katie snort. What the fuck? Winning.
What the hell? All right, so I'll go.
Anyway, there's the murder, like there's the clue, there's the murder implements and the clue cards and the killer point pick 2, and we played it.
And
right?
Mysterium, yeah.
Not Mysterium, you son of a fucking.
Is it Clue?
No, it's the one where someone gets a picture of a thing, and then you have other pictures, and you describe what they are. And you keep giving clues.
One of you has to see the
That's
killer.
Mysterium, and that continues to not be Deception. The point is, there's a Kickstarter for an expansion of Deception. It has 12 hours left as of right now, which means it'll be over by the time this is posted, but it's live now if you're watching live on Twitch, and you should go back it because it's a fun fucking game. Fuck you,
And the person
Jeremy.
who's talking is the one who died, right? That's the person who's...
Yeah, sure. For those of you who have played it, who aren't following the Kickstarter, they have an interesting, cool new role that I'm excited to implement next time I play it, even without the expansion, which is because you two have played it at least, right?
I've stopped playing all social games like that. So
Okay.
I have watched people play it though. I've watched you guys argue a lot at War Machine Weekend because someone was beating up.
I played it at War Machine Weekend.
I saw.
So you did play it.
I played that game.
Yeah, with the
you guys have all played it.
Yeah, no, I knew what he was talking
We're
about.
not on the same page.
I saw
Anyway.
Jim get very, very mad at someone in that game.
Yeah.
The new role they put in, so there's the killer and then there's the accomplice. Instead of the normal accomplice, they have, I forget what they call it, but they pick a combo on another player, and if that combo is ever accused, the killer's
win.
team wins.
Oh, so it's like they're trying to frame someone or
They're
something?
trying to frame somebody, exactly.
Okay.
And so if they have like an axe and like pesticide, somebody else might have a table saw and poison.
Yeah.
And like it's a cutting implement and something lethal
Yeah.
to drink, and so maybe the clue giver will accidentally get them there instead.
Okay.
So that seems pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
Extra layer of strategy. Fuck you, Jeremy. Fuck woo. Fuck woo.
Non-Euclidean Nick FWEE says that he really enjoyed that.
Right.
Hate him so much.
Anyway, I
Hate.
hate.
Nano angstroms. Nano angstroms.
Anyway, I recommend Big Brother. It's very enjoyable. The new season just started.
Are we still in your recommendation?
Yes.
Yeah.
We jumped back to Nathan's at one. Well, not even his recommendation. The thing someone else talked about.
Yeah. No, Andy's next. You're done. Go, Andy.
Zappity.
Are ye still in war recommendations? Because W is pronounced like a Y and Y is pronounced like W. So instead of we and your, it's ye and war.
I have
No,
a very
W's are
important
pronounced
recommendation.
like what?
You mean
Don't
what?
listen to this episode. Stop whatever you're doing before you start this episode and don't listen to it.
Invent time travel so Ryan can warn you not
Andy,
to listen.
post that at the beginning of the episode.
No, don't listen to this.
No, I'm leaving it where it is. It's
No,
good
it'll
for
be a
content.
flash forward like in the Genius Show. That show I recommended.
Yeah.
You guys are
Son
gonna.
of a bitch.
Nailed
I
it.
have to say something else about something else.
Sure.
Doctor Who current season finished and it ended very well.
Good.
I would say I liked last season might have been my favorite season of the show of all time of the new
Obviously, yeah. You
the
don't
new
go
stuff.
back past the gap.
The new Who?
The New Who.
Yeah, New Who.
Last season I think was my favorite. This season I thought was at all times decent, but I thought it ended exceptionally strong, which is always a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
And it did end where you need to watch. I mean, it doesn't have a full resolution because it's Capaldi's on his way out because they're switching doctors and everything. So it's kind of to be continued to the Christmas episode, but it was still amazing. And the last scene, what they did was just like mind blowing. But it was a great episode.
How much Strax?
Sadly, Strax has not been with this Doctor. That is the biggest flaw of the season. Capaldi is such a good Doctor Who, and they have a bit of Missy this season. They did a much better job of just having just the. I mean, she's in it more, but they still don't overdo her like they did with River Song.
I rewatched him in the castle randomly a couple times.
Yeah.
Like every 2-3 months, I'm like, I need to watch that hour of television.
Yeah,
'cause
that
that's such a
episode-
great fucking
yeah.
episode of television.
Capaldi just has really powerful eyebrows, so when he gets like mad and angry, his eyebrows really enhance his speeches.
Do you want eyebrow transplants? Like you can take some from here and put them right here, and then you can have powerful eyebrows.
Have you watched the thick of it?
I've only watched scenes of it.
Okay, as long as you've watched scenes of his character
Yeah.
murdering people with his mouth.
He's leaving the show partially because the show is so exhausting to him, but he puts so much into it. So I can see it.
His surgical strike. Capaldi just does that for an episode at a time on the thick of it. That's all it is. It's him just destroying people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It's amazing. I also recommend that Nathan watch season 2 of The Genius.
Can do. You need to watch season 3, so you're still ahead of me.
Yeah. Are we going to watch it all together in a group?
Oh. Yay.
That's not our group.
How would that be gay?
Because we'd be making out while watching it.
No, you don't have to make out. It'd just be a happy time.
I'm only happy when I'm making out.
Okay, well that's your choice. It's your choice.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
I apologize for everything. We crossed some lines. I think maybe
Recommending something.
Me too.
Yeah.
just go.
You could pull the chute whenever you want.
No, I was just telling our listeners they should have.
They should already be gone. They really should.
But anyway, I'm sure these two will bring it. But your recommendations are going to bring the show back.
I recommend Every Frame a Painting. It is a YouTube channel where a guy talks about filmmaking and aspects of it that you may not have considered. And 75% of the other podcast members now have their phone out. So I guess I'm done.
I'm listening still.
My phone
You
has
already
been
told
out.
us about this.
To be fair, we did just talk
tell
about
the
this the other
Shays
day.
about this. I didn't tell you this anecdote, though.
Okay.
So, because this happened after that. So, Every Frame of Painting is very interesting. You watch and they talk about, like, things that you haven't thought about and types of shots and types of composition and types of music. It's really worth watching. The one I mentioned to Jeremy and Katie, he talks about music in films now versus the past. And the example he started with, he was interviewing these people on the street, and he said, hum a song from Star Wars. And of course, everybody was able to do Luke's theme from Star Wars or the Imperial March or something. He's like, now do James Bond. And everybody had the James Bond theme. And he said, okay, now do Harry Potter. And everybody knew the Harry Potter theme. And he said, now any song from a Marvel movie. And nothing. And he talked about why is that? Like, why don't we know these themes anymore? What is it about Hollywood movies? And it's interesting shit, and he goes into a lot of details. It was really, really cool.
Well, but to be fair, it's also, like, DC does Wonder Woman really. Like, they just don't get, like, Marvel just doesn't do that, where DC does kind of give...
I can't hum any music from Wonder Woman, except for the Linda Carter theme song from the...
No, but
Wonder Woman
I can't
has
hum
a very
anything,
specific theme music.
But I could...
for the movie.
Yeah, I just can't make sounds well.
Okay.
But in general,
But the point is, it's interesting stuff to watch, and they talk about things like framing. I talked about the quadrant theory, which is when you have the screen, the left side and the right side. Like, if you cover up one half, the other half should still tell an independent story. And same with top and bottom. Like, if you cover up the top or the bottom, there's something independently going on both those things. And I mentioned that one specifically because then I mentioned that we bought Unforgiven when we went to the store. And I was watching Unforgiven with Raylene, and like halfway through it, she punches me. I'm like, why'd you do that? And she's like, all I can fucking do is think of quadrants while I'm watching this goddamn movie.
And I'm gonna say that is my recommendation to be careful with stuff like that because you will, like I mentioned, the cut thing. Like a lot of movies are hard for me to enjoy now because of the edits.
Yep.
And things like that stick out, and it hinders my enjoyment because of that. And I also think you're right about the quadrants and stuff like that. But I think some movies don't adhere to that. And then some people will be like, well, that movie didn't... Like, there's someone that's talking about Star Wars, like, well, every time that so-and-so walked down the stairs, he was descending into badness and going up as a character going to goodness. You know, it was all this, like, BS stuff that wasn't
intended.
all accurate, but they just needed to pull something into a movie.
Sometimes BS and sometimes not. It's hard to tell. Like, with Unforgiven, you know the scene where Little Bill... is talking about English Bob, and he tells the author to like give the gun to English Bob and whatever. So every time they cut to a shot of Little Bill, you only see him because it's being seen from the camera is English Bob's eyes.
Okay.
And English Bob is looking at Little Bill because he's being affronted upon by this man. And when they cut from the other frame, the camera's behind Little Bill so that you see Little Bill physically looming over English Bob, who's small in the distance from the shot. And so the power is felt in the shot, and that's an intentional thing.
I believe...
But sometimes, like you said, sometimes just random bullshit. People are pulling out their butts to seem artsy.
And I mean, movies like that are like that caliber movie are going to use that throughout the movie. But there will be a few scenes where it's just a scene to film, but it's like, I think there's always a fine line between analyzing something and just like having something shoved too far up your ass to really know what you're talking about.
The Plinkett reviews have a line that they use a lot where he says, you may not have noticed, but your brain did. Yeah. Where some of these films, you're like, yeah, that film was like, it was artistic and it was more, art, it was cinema versus a flick, and you don't know why. This YouTube channel kind of breaks down those whys that you've never thought about, where you're like, oh yeah, I guess that is something that I've subconsciously noticed. But yeah, don't get your head so far up your ass that you think it constantly, because that's how I view movies, and it's ruined my life.
Yeah, because I mean, there's sometimes where filmmakers just want to have that shot because it's a really cool looking shot.
That's
I
fine.
mean, it doesn't. There's no other reason for it other than it looks really awesome at that angle.
But that's a good enough reason. Like,
Yeah.
that is still a reason. It's if they just do shot, reverse shot for dialogue because they're lazy and don't know how to do interesting shots. I'll take a cool shot that's just cool for the sake of being cool over a boring shot that's workmanship.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They don't have to frame it like a fucking Salvador Dali painting every time, but at least be cool.
Yeah.
And there's
man.
good like editing techniques or things you can do in a movie, even if it's not artistic. You can still make a good movie and use good techniques throughout any kind of movie, regardless of what it's trying to be.
And these videos are like, they vary from like 3 to 10 minutes long. They're short, they're interesting. These aren't like big 2-hour-long diatribes. So, watch a handful of them and see if you like them.
Was this the one where they were talking about the sequence between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man? Was that same?
No, I don't think it's those guys. But there's a lot of channels like this one.
Okay.
Like there's Cinefix, and there's
Okay, then something different.
Something like a scene from a screenplay or something like that. Sure. But every frame of painting to me is the most like smart one. Like, he's never done a top 10 blah blah blahs. Like, he's always
Sure.
more things like you could imagine that if you were in film school, there would be an entire day devoted to this topic that he gave you a 5-minute snippet of.
Sure, that's fine. All right, so I'm gonna finish the recommendations here on movies. My recommendation is everyone out there should watch Jason X.
Dang straight.
Because, man, I've looked up Jason X recently, and I was extremely disappointed by two things. One, by its Rotten Tomatoes ranking, which is about 19%,
Sure.
and by its audience, the audience score.
As you say,
No. Take a guess what the audience score is.
is it going to be sadly low as well because it's all bitter
sadly
people?
low as well.
With
It's
Rotten,
40.
before, don't say the number, but with Rotten Tomatoes,
Sorry.
even movies that can get under a 20% often will get a 70% audience
Yep.
review. Audiences will still give good reviews. So if you can, my things that I balance is it close to 20, and then do the users drop under 70, because then I won't see it for sure. So 70 and 20 is like my absolute break point.
And you get the reverse. You get like a 90 and a 20 when you get something like It Comes at Night happens, where it's, well, that article I sent to you where they talked about things like that, where like the film is marketed the wrong way, and so all the critics love it, and the audience
but that
is like,
can't
fuck this noise.
but if it's marketed wrong, but anyway.
Yeah.
But so what was the
25.
Yeah.
see that? I mean,
That shocks me.
the
That's
movie,
a low user score.
It has. I love Friday the 13th more than anyone. I know more than
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But that movie does have a lot of problems. It's still fun, and you have to like just kind of relax a little bit, enjoy it.
It's a self-parody, which is a difficult thing to pull off. And so the problem is, I think that a lot of people aren't going to like Friday the 13th movies off the top. So if you have 100 people, right, and we're getting to 25, like, you're going to have 40% of people just straight up don't like slasher flicks.
Correct.
So you're down to 60.
But even in like even
But
in
they
the
won't go see
but
the
even the
film,
people even
right?
usually the user views are people who want to go see it. So even if you're of your Friday fans, you have people who don't want the sci-fi elements.
Right.
You got people who are going to be
Lose
just
them.
you lose them. The quality of that film is a
budget is low.
The budget is low, and even Part 8's budget is low. But this movie feels even almost worse than that in some ways.
Yeah.
But it does got some decent humor, and some of the characters are. I mean, it's a slasher fix. You're not looking for a lot of exciting characters, but they still fail pretty hard on a lot of the characters too.
But they succeed in having him beating one lady in a sleeping bag to death with another lady in a
Yes.
sleeping bag.
Which
And how can you not like a movie that has that?
kind of the funny thing. I was reading the trivia earlier because I got Jeff to watch Jason X yesterday, and it was his first foray into the Friday the 13th series.
Fair.
But on the trivia I read, that sequence was improvised by Kane Hodder. They were recording him doing other things so many times he got sick of it, and he just did that.
Probably
That's
did
it.
it with like an empty sleeping bag, and then they filmed it into the movie, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Believe it.
And they put real people in there.
Who? Kane wasn't in the remake.
Kane
Do we
was
know
in
who was
se-
in the remake?
Just a random,
a
7,
random guy? 'Cause he
8,
was really-
9, and X are all Kane Hodder.
And the game,
yes, and the game.
and that one shitty movie.
He was in Freddy vs. Jason, wasn't he?
No, I am 99% sure that was not Kane Hodder. To the
Okay.
dismay, I might be wrong on that. I might be misremembering that, but I thought people were upset it wasn't Kane Hodder. It's still a good Jason.
Ironically, they had Kane Hodder play Freddy.
Well,
I wanted to. I guess I feel that they didn't do it. I mean, they should have. I thought there was a problem with it. I don't remember. And some people don't like Jason versus Freddy. I love that.
Those
movie.
people are dumb and wrong.
Yeah, no, Jason X. I mean, it is a schlocky film. It is not very good in terms of actual quality filmmaking. But some of the deaths in there are very entertaining. One of the deaths was even on MythBusters.
They're getting sucked through a hole in a spaceship.
No, is the freezing of the face
and then smashing
and then
against
smashing
the table.
it. That was.
Would it work?
No.
If you dump your face in liquid nitrogen and then smash it against a table, your face doesn't shatter?
Not the no. It doesn't
What about
freeze all the way.
future space liquid nitrogen?
Who knows? That's.
Oh, they're saying it
thing.
didn't freeze deep enough into the head to shatter. It would just be like your skin would break off.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a Friday the 13th movie that I don't at least like.
9 is
Freddy vs. Jason got a 41 rotten. That's where you expect most slasher Friday to be, like, to be in the 40ish range. That's kind of where they live.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Dropping from 40 to 25 isn't as big of a drop as just thinking of 25 compared to
25 was a video. Was a
25 was user.
Was user. It was I was under 20 for the users was like 60-70% for.
For Friday. Never mind.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about this.
But I mean, for Jason Exo, I honestly feel if that movie came out closer to now, it probably would have a better rating for it. Just for the ironic value. I'm curious.
It's still to be made.
Curious to know how much was from the backlash from Friday the 13th fans, because it was such a departure from the original series.
Yeah, but the original series was wash, rinse, repeat. Like, there's a certain point in time where you're like, all right, we need something different, and that something different is Cyborg Jason in space.
It's not even. It's just like when you're watching a film, you don't want to think to yourself, why is this the quality of literally a bad sci-fi night movie?
Yeah, like
more
the
than
budget.
it's But anyway, yeah. That's all I think of. I don't have anything else.
Katie, what do you think? You're on the edge of your seat with this conversation, obviously.
Have you seen Jason X?
I've never seen any of the Friday 13th
You should
movies.
watch Jason X.
No, if I watch everything, I'd say the only one they probably would enjoy would be like Friday vs. Jason because it's very amusing.
Yeah, it's
I would say the remake, but
I watched Freddy Krueger and that was really scary. So
Nightmare. Which Nightmare in Elm Street?
I don't know which one it was, but it's the one where he has his claws and he puts them up through the car. Like through this car seat, like the front seat, and like so he kills the lady from like her butt up.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember which one that is. Was that in the Freddy's Dead? Because I remember like the map, the giant map, and the guy's like, "What's the map saying?" The guy says, "The map says we're fucked." When they're in the van, does she end up getting stabbed there?
It was a girl.
Because that was the one that had 3D when they went into the dream realm at the end. Because I saw that one in the theaters and it had 3D glasses. It's the last 3D movie I saw in theaters before the big resurgence.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw it at a sleepover when I was in junior high. It was scary.
All right. So we'll call it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Exciting.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for watching.
We may not be back for a while.
We'll be fine.
No, Katie and I.
Oh.